there is a video from Loud Guns that he posted 2 days ago that my community Discord guys have posted, and it's about a thing that we talked about on Starstream's stream. So actually, let me find his stream first, because it's important so I don't repeat myself. Hello, Kwaku. All right, so it's somewhere around here. Like,
I'll say one thing without wishing to like totally wipe out, but it's kind of like they were begging
of course,
for people last
of course,
weekend.
Elliot. We're like, just telling me I can't answer that, or like I'm gonna send you the questions before, I guess.
For a stress test, weren't they? And
yeah, that's
just
cool.
Didn't get the numbers, so this effectively is the stress test.
And also,
yeah, but like,
get out clause as well, right? Get out clause. Well,
that would be amazing. Thank you.
You know, we needed you and you didn't step up, and now look what's happened. It's your fault. That's what they'll say.
So, if you missed it, Loud Guns here said that like there weren't enough people to stress test in the PTU.
Yeah. I'm sure if they pop that up from Spectrum, it won't be pitchforks at dawn.
I mean, the problem with the PTU is that they're not incentivizing people to play in the PTU. Like, if they gave out some like rewards for like the time that you spend there, or maybe even for like the number of issue council reports that you made, then
just
there
some
would
skins
be more people, or skins. Yeah,
just like some skin that you can't get any other way apart from
this Loud Guns video that we're gonna watch. Originates from here, like from this. It all started here. I'm just gonna, where is it? There it is. So this is a video from Loud Guns. How do we get more people testing Star Citizen? So before we start, I would love to see some kind of incentive. I think I already talked about this on my second channel. Maybe have like a tier list, and like the lowest tier for a certain amount of hours spent in the PTU, and or maybe issue council reports. I don't know if CG can even do that, like tie everything in with each other. But if they can, that would be fucking amazing. And if you have like the lowest tier gets maybe 250,000 Alpha UEC starting money on top of the starting money that he had, obviously, for like certain amount of hours, and then you have like higher tiers where you're gonna get like 1 million, 2 million. Then after that, you have like a skin. For me, it doesn't need to be like a PTU exclusive skin. It could be like a different kind of skin, and then or like just any ordinary skin. It doesn't matter. And then, like maybe the top tier for like the most hours spent for being a Giga Chat, you like get like a what's it called? LTI token for like the maximum amount of hours spent and like thousands of issue council reports. For me, that would incentivize people to play the shit out of the PTUs.
Hello and welcome.
Yeah, we already watched
to the channel.
The ISC video.
I'm Loud Guns, and today I thought I'd just build on a talking point that came up during a recent call with Starstreams. And that's how could CIG incentivize people better to get more involved in the PTU, helping to keep up numbers during the all-important testing phase to smooth the rollout of new patches. I'd like to be clear from the outset that despite what's going on...
One more disclaimer. I know that CIG is working on this, on like incentivizing people, because like 7-8 months ago they said that they are, but we're still not seeing that.
This won't be a vid roasting CIG for the rollout. This isn't my first rodeo when it comes to MMO launches and patch rollouts, and rather I want to talk about how we could maybe improve the amount of data the devs are getting ahead of major releases. So if that sounds good to you, then grab a cup of tea while I roll the intro, and then let's get into it. So I guess before we dive into the ideas on how to incentivize PTU and issue council participation, we should stop a bit to talk about the why. I think most people will get it in the context of the last few days. And just picking out a few messages from CIG, I think it's fairly safe from even my smooth brain perspective that there simply weren't enough of us playing the PTU in the build-up to 3.18.
Yeah, some people said that all the servers were full, but my experience was whenever I joined the server, it was like half full or half empty.
There was an element
whatever
of
kind of a guy
in these
you
messages
are.
from the devs. And I think they really wanted...
And even if they were full, were there like enough servers spooled up? We can't really know that because we don't have the data.
More of us to get involved and give the patch a fair shake before it went to live. The way I'm looking at the events of the last few days is that we're currently in the midst of the stress tests that should have been. And only with enough people testing are CIG able to gather the data they need to identify the bugs. I know that I will bump into a few comments telling me that incentives shouldn't be required and that people should just be happy to playtest for the sake of improving the game and contributing to the project. And while I think the view of this group...
I mean, yeah, but also most people are not going to do that, so you got to incentivize them.
...is very noble, I would respectfully ask them to consider that they are a minority. The majority of players just want to play the game and aren't so interested in the minutiae of game development. Some people who love cars want to understand how every part fits together, but more people can enjoy the thrill of...
I think the sooner we get the region split, the better. What do you mean, like server meshing? So you only have like... Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure.
Putting the pedal to the metal and just going fast. And I do think this percentage of people is only going to shrink as the game hits more of a mass market.
Well, that's not going to work. Like the Wave 1 was only US servers, so... Yeah.
And gets more appeal and traction. In my view, we need to come up with some form of incentive plan to get the average player to...
Also, that's going to be an issue if they introduce that. Because most of my like old orgs that I was in, that I made, like most people were like US and I'm EU, obviously. So how are we going to play?
To disrupt their gameplay with the unpaid labor that is active testing. Playing in PTUs where they'll experience no real progression, stopping before clicking relaunch to send crash reports, and taking time out of their R&R time to file paperwork on the issue council.
That will like completely destroy some
To be clear, there are some incentives. The Invocati testing group is arguably one of the main ones here, with especially active players who contribute via the reporting framework being given insider knowledge and access to new builds ahead of the main group. And this will undoubtedly appeal to some of you, but to be honest, it also comes with some downsides. I'm not an avocado, but based on discussions I've had with people who are, some of the Invocati testing sessions make the 3.18 launch look breezy. This might be fun if your other hobbies include extreme marathons, because regular marathons aren't quite painful enough for you, but for most of us, it will be a hard pass. I have also seen a couple of moments on Spectrum where CIG have given away prizes to individuals who've contributed a lot to the issue council.
What happened to
the downside to this is that it doesn't really incentivize mass participation, because you'll know if you work a normal job, sort of a 9 to 5, that you'll never compete with some of the people who have a lot more time to play, and therefore are more involved in the bug reporting process. Yeah. So if it always comes down to who does the most reporting, then a very narrow selection of people are going to win, and other people are going to be disincentivized because they'll know they'll never achieve that. So what could more suitable incentives look like? Well, first up, I think it would be cool if a certain degree of participation in the testing, which most people could achieve, could lead to some unique in-game rewards. Things like one-of-a-kind skins. A lot of us MMO players are collectors. We care about
So one-of-a-kind skins means that they will need to make those skins. That's the issue. I do personally use Discord a lot as well for talking to Evo backers, for testing
cosmetics, because they're some of the best show-off items out there in a multiplayer game. Particularly if something was limited edition. My daily driver, for instance, is my Drake Cutlass Black, and one of the most common questions I get asked in the comments section when this ship features in vids is, where did you get that cutty paint? It was a best in show one from the $29.49 IAE sales, and unfortunately, unless you're willing to shell out far more than it's worth on the grey market, you just can't get it anymore. Obviously, some people will argue that this sort of exclusivity is bad. Why should I have something that they can't get? But it creates an element of FOMO that CIG have no problem using to sell
That's
shit.
a call above your head. Yeah. But like, can we influence that? That will be cool. Not for the community, but like for Star Citizen's sake. Like, if something like this, even like a special paint, was a thing, that would be like, that would give incentive to play to players to play in the PTU, because like, okay, most of my community, I'm not gonna lie. Well, like not most, like the most vocal part of my community in the Discord are like a bit like, I don't want to insult them, but like jaded to a degree, and they're not gonna like play the PTU. And even people that are not, for example, like I have a few friends that I don't know when you joined, but I talked about them, that invested like tens of thousands of dollars into Star Citizen, and they don't want to play the PTU. They like one of them, and I don't know, like, yeah, he talked about this live on one of my podcasts. So fuck it, I can mention the number. So he spent like 25 just on the store, and then he like spent even more on Star Hangar. So he spent a lot of money, and he only joined in 3.14. So he's not like an old backer. He's pretty new. And he doesn't want to play in the PTU. He hopped in to help me out a couple of times on the streams, and that's it. But I remember when I started, I would be in the PTU the whole day. Just like players are playing in the DCS beta, because more players are playing in the beta than the players that are like in the live release of DCS. So that guy, Fateless, that I'm talking about, he is playing other games in just waiting for the PTU to like for the patch to release to the PU, so he can play it, so he can play a game in a playable state, right? Which is, from my point of view, he should have contributed. He should have tried. He should have reported bugs. But then again, if he doesn't have any incentive to do that, then like, why would he do that?
Chips. And they could harness this same FOMO to encourage testing.
So this would really push players into playing the
So for instance, you as a new player in years to come,
like much more than we think, actually.
Not to be able to get your hands on the 3.21 PTU tester Scorpius skin you see me with. But it's going to incentivize you to go and test the next PTU build that you can be part of when it comes up.
Yeah.
I know some people think I'm way too calm to be a MOBA player, but for my sins I do enjoy a bit of League of Legends. And League does have some read across here with their ranked rewards. At the end of each major patch you actually see a pickup in players as people are grinding games in an attempt to bump themselves up to the next level and get the rewards, which tend to include unique skins. Another idea CIG could look at is mimicking something like the highly successful referral program they have. The referral ladder has a heap of bonuses you get by hitting various levels. And since most of these are digital assets, CIG can dish them out at no marginal cost. It wouldn't hurt to have a similar ladder for bug reporting and verification.
Also, when it comes to the referrals, we need like something in between 500 and 1,000, honestly. And 1,000 and 2,000.
This could actually create some...
There's so much stuff that was added to the game since the referral program was like placed, so yeah.
Equality between selling the game and testing the game. Not everybody has the possibility to rank up thousands of referrals, but nearly everybody has the opportunity to get involved with bug smashing, reporting, and getting into the PTUs. Being able to see some progression and earn long-term rewards that will stay in your hangar would almost certainly encourage more of us to grind this. Obviously, I don't want to misrepresent myself here. I'm just a guy who makes some videos and I don't have answers to some of the trickier questions. People with much more knowledge of this sort of thing would have to work out how to...
Yeah, I always link the video at the end. At the end, when you watch it, there you go.
And not allow people to simply min-max getting the rewards if that leads to poor feedback. But with the game...
You also have
I think it's fair
my
to say
point of view on my second channel, where I talked about this like maybe a month ago, where I like made the tier list.
Improving player participation in testing is essential. I don't personally hold anything against CIG employees for the mildly disastrous.
Oh no, honestly, no. Actually, I posted my tier list on Spectrum. I actually posted it on Spectrum, and yeah, I got like so many downvotes and like Picard palms and all that.
Simply lacks enough data to work with.
Because it was from my main
with that fixed main account. Problems we've encountered ahead of this PU launch. And I would ask anybody who's getting a bit angry, maybe
actually let me find it.
Fiery posts on Spectrum, to just think, you know, these people, they're people who go to work, they hit an office every day. And a lot of us have been in that position where we've gone to the office and it's a complete shitstorm.
Yep.
I obviously also don't hold anything against players who haven't got involved in the PTU. There's no contractual obligation on you to be an unpaid playtester and bug reporter. And there's no real incentive outside of a tenuous moral obligation to the project to get you to essentially intern for free at CIG. I think the pressure's really on CIG's management to look at how they can improve this going forward. Hopefully this week's real stress test will lead to the proper rollout of 3.18 shortly, and we'll all be playing and instantly forgetting about all the 19Ks, 30Ks and 60Ks. But let me know what you think down in the comments, and feel free to donate me a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the vid.
And you know what? From a guy that tests the game out a lot, and from a guy that actually reported some game-breaking bugs to CIG that got fixed, I can tell you from that perspective that it is like honestly a bit like fulfilling a moral obligation to the project. Well, that's his point of view. Like, honestly, I talked about this a lot. I was the one that broke the servers in the PTU. I think it was like 3.14, whenever they added the inventory system. So I would break the servers by spawning a bunch of backpacks in the elevators, because it's like a confined space and all those backpacks would collide with each other and the physics would just like freak out, and that would like bring down the tick rate to basically 0, and like in the end the server would just like shut down and give up. So that got fixed because of me and my videos and because of my issue console reports, and they added the area to cluttered. Now it's changed, and I'm gonna find another way to break it, because if I don't, somebody else will at some point, and maybe that's not gonna be like a priority then to fix it. But once 3.18 like starts working for me, at least, I'm gonna try to break it with the PES. I tried it in the PTU, but there were like a lot of issues with the PTU that just couldn't like let me do that. Anyway, honestly, it is really fulfilling when you see a game that you like, that you love, and the devs fixing the issue that you found. Now, there's another side of that story where you have a lot. It happened to me as well a lot of times, honestly, and actually, that I reported something that was for me a serious issue, and it got like upvoted, it got confirmed and all of that, and in the end nothing happened. There was no fixes, there was nothing. And from what I've heard from my community and from people that I played with, they have told me that that's like the only thing they know of, basically. I want to show you a couple of things. Now, I do understand. Okay, sign in, not here, not on this screen. I do understand that there are priorities, of course. But my reported issues. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of them here. Like, there is... Okay, this is my first report. Gladiator turret can cause an epileptic seizure. And if you have... Like, this is gonna be an epilepsy warning. I had an accident when I was a kid, and I can recognize I don't get like seizures, but I get really, really uncomfortable by flashing lights and all of that. So yeah, warning.
Warning.
Thank you, C3PO. So yeah, look away, basically. Honestly, I don't know if this is still happening because I don't have a Gladiator anymore. But if it is, I can see that the issue console report is still like it's just confirmed. It's not fixed. I don't see it fixed anywhere. And I tried it a couple of patches ago. This was back in July 30th, 2021. So almost 2 years ago. And I tried it a couple of patches ago, and it was still happening. So that's one of the things. Then you have the the Cuddy Steel shooting itself. There we go. So you have the Cuddy Steel. This is me with a couple of friends. So they're shooting outside from the Cuddy Steel, and they're hurting the ship. And it's not just the shields. You're gonna see in a second here that it's also hurting the hull of the ship. Where is it? Somewhere around here. Come on, there you go. So I posted this, and then it got archived because CAG dev team said closed as this is intended behavior. Please feel free to contribute to this concern to the feedback forum. So honestly, like at that point I was like, well, why am I reporting that? And I know that a lot of people feel that way. So if they got an incentive to do reports, to like push out as many reports for all the bugs that they encountered in the PTU, that would be great, because even if this happens, they still know that they did something, and in the end, maybe they're gonna get something out of it. So even if the issue console report doesn't get fixed, or the bug doesn't get fixed, at least they contributed, right? So yeah, that's like those are my thoughts on this whole matter.